Hey guys, it's time for a little walkthrough of the Great C. I just recorded it, so I got my lights going and everything. Let's just get it going, okay? The first thing that happens is this intro here. The most important thing I would say is to really try to push that bass line out, because it's pretty dang important, and you're going to be doing all those bass notes with your thumb. Now here, I'm using 3, 4, and 1, and then I'm gonna go ahead and grab a half bar with my index finger right here. So all I have to do is take my middle finger up, and then I slide the whole formation down my whole index finger, put down my my middle finger. Then I hop up with everything but index. Now when you hit this D note, bam, right there, that's when you can take the middle finger off of here. Right there. Because you need the middle finger to grab that. Same thing with here. Off. I'm using 3 and 4 here. I guess you don't have to. You could use maybe 2 and 3. That might actually make it easier to get to 1 and 4 here. Right, and then we're back, and then we're into the main theme here. So now notice what I'm doing with the thumb here. So throughout this, pay attention to when the thumb is muting. That is a very particular feel versus. It sounds more like kind of a march, it's kind of driving if you kind of. So long, short, 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 long, short, short, short. Now, when you get to here, that shit's hard. Now I'm doing it exactly as you think I would be doing, which is middle index. M-I-M-A. There's really no easy way of doing this, I don't think. I mean, you could use P, I, and M instead. It's just a really clunky move. It's hard because I mean, just you wanna get your pinky kind of hovering over where it needs to be, and as soon as you hit the top string here, that's when you want to take your index finger off, and start moving everything up to here, and you got your index finger ready to grab this, right? Now check this out. I'm doing a hinge bar, alright? So I'm taking my middle finger, putting it down here, and then my index finger is behind it, but doing a hinge, which is this. You just grab the note with the base of the finger. Oops. So you can grab this. Now here, you really gotta focus on, because the middle finger does a lot here. It does a pull off, and then it has to go to here. So I would mostly be paying attention to my middle finger for this part. The ring finger shouldn't be too much of a problem. Just have it kind of up there and ready. That shit's not too crazy. Aside from here, I got my index finger over here, grabbing this note, and then I lay the whole thing down. I go from here, and I take the index finger, I'll lay it down. Now here, I want to talk about what I'm doing with my right hand. I think it's important. It was really hard for me to do it any other way than this. I'm doing P-I-M, M-I-P. I know it's kind of weird to get the P involved in those notes and coming off the bass, but I found it made a lot easier to do this quickly. Now here, P-I-M, I-M-I. Now here, the middle finger and the the ring finger and the pinky finger are going to stay on. Right? That does the same thing again. Now here, only your index finger has to be on. Now I'm doing the... I find if I don't drill those for a while, they'll start to get sloppy. Now here, the only difference between the first chord and the second chord, this being 1, is the middle finger goes down. Now these here are open strings, right? The G and the E. So you can just grab those and use that as an opportunity to shift to here. Right? This repeats. Oops. Now that's a tricky part. Dude, I mean, I'm sorry. I wish there was an easier way to do this. There's not. You're adding an extra bass note here the second time around. Now here, the bass in the top note and then an open bass note. The only thing that happens here, take the index finger and put it right here. Right there. Index finger stays on and it slides down. I'm doing again all the fingers and then I. It's hard, man. Nothing too crazy there. It's just really hard to get all those notes clean. That's what I would say. There's nothing too tricky going on. It's pretty rudimentary, but it's, there's no smoke and mirrors. It's just like straight up. I will say this. So I'm doing this chord without the index finger doing a bar, right? I'll show you everything's angle. So the way I get that note is by cranking my hand down and grabbing that bar with the base of the index finger, but I'm well, not really the base. I'm kind of at the first knuckle, but I'm waiting to grab the open E and then slamming it down. So it's hard to do it quickly. There we go. That was better. Now we're into this section, which feels a lot like the beginning of the song, actually. The only thing you got to worry about here, 1, 2, 3. Every time I say 3, that's where you're going to take your finger off of the 4th string. Off, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, off. Oops. Because you got to do that open D over and over. Right? Nothing too crazy. Of course, these fingers are sliding around. And then we're here. Now, you'll find a lot in this section, there's times where I'm playing the same melody like twice in a row, but because in the actual track, the melodies are performed on different instruments, it has a different timbre. So sometimes I'll be actually doing the melody in one spot and then repeating the exact same thing in a different spot. That's just for the sake of the tone. You don't necessarily have to do that. You can do the same thing twice, but I like the shift in tone. So hear this. So you got, but it sounds almost like a different instrument. Now for this shit, grab this open A string, hopping up. Now right here, when I grab this open A, this pinky note, I can take everything else off except for the pinky. Now here, 2 and 3 here. Open the A up, grab this with the index finger, put the middle or put the third finger down. Right? Start by the bridge for this part. So you can get that, you can move your hand up this way to get a little bit more warm to make it sound like it's a different voice. Now here. This part's hard. This is not easy, man. I have to do it a lot of takes to actually get a good recording of it, but I'm starting out with 2 and 3. Going open E, hinge bar, hammer on with 2, and then grabbing 1 and 4. I would say it might be helpful to focus on just that part. And then the secret is to not put this down too early. You're gonna want to put that bar down. You gotta keep the index finger just hinged until you get to here, which is pretty tricky. Right? Fuck. It's hard. Fuck! See? Man, I can't even do it. And I am actually having trouble getting this hammer on too, so really what I would have to do is slow it down. You know what, my nail's too long. Screw that though. Oh God. So what you're seeing happen to me is because you got this bar down, the index finger or the middle finger has to come in at a weird angle. It's like usually you'd want, if you're gonna do a hammer on with your middle finger, you'd want your hand further down this way because it gives you a better line of like attack. Versus if your hand's way up here, your finger almost has to do a hammer on, and it feels like it's angling down, so it's a very precise spot where it has to hit, and that's really tricky. Especially my middle finger nail is pretty long. That's hard. Right? Okay. So don't feel bad if that's really hard for you, because it's really hard for me too. Now here, you're gonna come up here to grab that. So you grab the. I'm talking about the pickup to the downbeat, right? Right there. You're gonna grab it here. Now again, start by the bridge. Get this. Move it over. Nothing too crazy here. But you're doing pull off, and then the hammer on. Using my pinky here, these can come off here to make way to grab this. Full bar goes down. It's a hammer on. Now here, bum ba da bum. You're gonna go PIM, IMI. Now here, this one's pretty tricky. Because you're doing like a harmonized line here. Both of those are actually hard. Kind of, they're hard in their own right. So to do them at the same time is kind of tricky. But what you want to really do is focus on just the first move of it and work on that, which is. Index finger stays on, you slide it up to grab this. And we're back. Fuck! Now, this is when it differs. So you grab this with the pinky finger, and when you do that, you use that as a chance to get the other fingers ready to grab this. You're going to use the open A as a transition to here. This is a lot like the first time it happens, except you're adding that note before each chord repeat. It's just hard, man. Now, I'll tell you what, man. This is not something I would be able to play live right now. Like, there's no way, man. It's a tricky piece. Even though it's kind of stripped down, it's still really hard. It's actually stripped down by necessity. But that's just giving you an idea of like how much I struggle with this stuff. So like, don't feel bad about it being hard yourself. You know, this is like some of these arrangements are really, really tricky. I mean, they're tricky for me, man. There's stuff I would never play live sometimes. Like, I could only barely get a recording of it, and that's taking sometimes very small sections and playing them over and over again until I get a clean one of it. You know, if I worked on it a whole bunch, would I be able to play it live? Maybe, no, but not as well as the recording sounds. But now you're back to here. Right? This repeats. It does it twice. Grab this open E. That's it, man. That's the great C. I hope you guys enjoy attempting to play this one. It's a little awkward in spots, but if you drill it, man, I'm sure you can get it better. Maybe I could get it better. I don't know. All right. Peace.